recruiting news was so fast and furious during the early signing period with Coach Prime and the Buffaloes. So, Chase, you and I are going to spend a little time going back over a few of these guys that committed that maybe weren't Colorado targets for a long period of time. Go a little bit more in depth. Today, we're going to look at 2023 early Colorado signee Omarion Miller, a 6'2", 200-pounder from Vivian, a small town in Northwest Louisiana. Chase, I don't want to set too high of expectations here, but gosh, watching his film, there was a lot of Laviska Shenault-ness in that highlight tape. What were your thoughts on Miller?
That's exactly what I was thinking. You look at his build, he's 6'2", around 200 pounds. He's not quite to what Laviska became at Colorado in terms of size, but he is a fast, fluid athlete. Really impressive. He just glides by defensive backs, and I think that's the most impressive on his film. And he was really productive even through his senior year, over 1,000 yards receiving, 15 touchdowns for his senior year. He was impressive during his junior year. He was a LSU commit for a little bit, and then he went with Mickey Joseph to Nebraska and was a Nebraska commit for a while, but obviously Mickey Joseph left Nebraska, and he became on the free market, and CU did a nice job recruiting him because I think he's a really impressive athlete. I loved watching his film. You go to his junior and senior film, and they're both a lot of fun to watch. He's just they find ways to get the ball in his hands, and he's a really fun athlete.
Yeah, definitely has a knack for making tough catches and kind of that deceptive speed. I think that's what you get a lot of times with those guys that have a big frame. You talked a little bit about his recruitment. New staff member for CU, Corey Phillips, was heavily involved in Miller's recruitment to Boulder. Phillips comes over from LSU staff. He previously spent some time as the director of scouting at NC State, spent some time on Derek Mason's staff at Vanderbilt. But yeah, this is just an absolute playmaker here, Chase. Over 4,000 all-purpose yards, 48 touchdowns in his prep career. Also plays basketball at North Caddo. Won the 2022 Shreveport Times Male Athlete of the Year. So there's a lot to like here. And there's certain guys that I watch the film and I go, this is going to be maybe a year or two down the road type of guy. With Omarion Miller in that size, I don't know. He might have a chance to. There's a lot of talent now in the receivers room going forward in Colorado, but Omarion Miller would not shock me if he found a way to get on the field early. What are your expectations with him coming in?
Yeah, to me, watching the film, he looks as polished of a wide receiver as I've seen come to CU in a long time. So he's a guy that typically in the wide receiver rooms that we are used to, he's a guy that would be able to work his way to the top. Now, this is a completely different wide receiver room, and it's loaded. So he might have some difficulty getting on the field his freshman year, but they're going to have to find ways to get the ball in his hands because he's an impressive athlete already, and he already has the frame to be able to compete at the Power 5 level.
All right, that was our look at four-star Colorado receiver signee Omarion Miller.